In this video, I will be speaking about BTC USD. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this market, then we will move to the on-chain data. Especially, we will be looking at the exchange reserves, and by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here on this pair. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which at the moment is breaking above structure. In fact, what we can see is that this zone here, which was previous monthly resistance, is now turned support here. And as the market is testing that zone, there is the possibility to see some bullish price action away from this area. Dropping down on the weekly time frame, what do we have? Now, from a weekly perspective, if we zoom in, we can see a quite interesting thing. In fact, we can notice how this zone, which was acting as previous weekly resistance and supply, now that the market has broken into the upside, is acting here as support and demand. And from here, there is a possibility of seeing more bullish continuation. Now, one probability is that still, since the market hasn't really closed above the previous high, we will see a stop hunt below this low before getting a rejection to the upside. However, if we go down on the daily time frame, we can see how it seems like the market, at least at the moment, doesn't really want to go that lower. In fact, what it seems, at least at the moment, is that the market will try to break above this high. That is what the market is currently trying to do. Now, if it will fail, there's a good probability that we will see a stop hunt of all the people that placed their stop losses below this low when they added leveraged longs, FOMOing into this move to the upside. However, if the market here actually manages to break above this resistance, that would provide a quite more immediate situation in which, since we would have at that point a move to the upside and the creation of a W formation, at that point what we could expect is a retest of the previous resistance turn support, which is also the neckline of the W formation itself, before then getting a potential rejection to the upside. So if we do get the break on the retest, how we could be approaching a potential rejection to the upside. Now, first of all, let's go and see what we have when it comes to the on-chain data. Now, what we can see here with the exchange reserves is that as the price was dropping, the purple line, so the amount of Bitcoins on exchanges, that was dropping even more aggressively. What this shows is that there is a massive amount of Bitcoins which are getting bought and moved away from exchanges in cold storage. Now, as those Bitcoins are held in cold storage, there is a very low probability that they are actually going to be just immediately sold into the market. This means that this creates liquidity so that if demand gets increased or if the amount of Bitcoins emitted into circulation gets cut in half, which is exactly what will happen with the next halving in 2024, price should increase to accommodate for this new demand. So at the moment, the fundamentals are quite strong. So if from here the market will fail to break above this resistance, it can easily continue lower for a stop hunt of this level, from which then expect a rejection higher. However, if now we get the break above this daily resistance, after the break on the retest of the previous resistance turn support, this is where we would have quite good probabilities for a potential rejection to the upside. Now, in that case, how we could be approaching this move to the upside. Now, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily combined with the on-chain data, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing, potentially also with students, is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the downside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bearish market as we would have to an intraday bullish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bearish to bullish market and provide to us one of our valid entries at that point, we could be looking for a potential move to the upside for the market to complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis education and update, make sure that you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free analysis education and updates for all of you, and I will see you in my next breakdown.